We are going inside the story today with legendary broadcaster Jim Lampley. You may remember him from HBO boxing, the Olympics, virtually every major sporting event, and a bunch of movies. I stopped by his Chapel Hill home for a story. The link's in the description below. He really was the nicest guy ever and greeted me at the door and asked if he could make a sandwich first before our interview. I said, of course.
Jim, don't eat off the floor. Well, where else?
5-second rule.
The first thing he showed me was his wall of credentials, and boy was it impressive. NBA Finals, Super Bowls, Wimbledon, all the big boxing fights. Remember, he was the voice of the Buster Douglas-Mike Tyson upset.
It's over! It's over! Mike Tyson has been knocked out!
Then you have the record 14 Olympics he covered for ABC and NBC Sports.
Atlanta, 1996. Hannah Storm and I were anchoring together at the moment when the bomb went off in Centennial Park.
And the mood of our program changes dramatically at this moment.
It took the network several hours to locate Tom Brokaw, who was out having dinner.
And even though he's seen so much, his memory's sharp as a tack.
For Tar Heels everywhere, these credentials are from the 1988 NBA Finals. The MVP was one James Worthy, who in the seventh game against the Pistons had 36 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists.
Upstairs are photos of more personal memories, his most treasured one from the time Muhammad Ali babysat his daughter in New York as he needed to run some errands before an awards show they were going to.
When I asked in the green room, that person stuck up his hand and said, "Leave her with me. I will watch her." As I took her home, she asked me, "Dad, who was that guy?" And I said, "Well, you will grow up and you'll learn about him. And what I'll leave you with tonight is simply, he's the most famous man in the world."
Then you have the posters of movies he's been in, where he's mostly played a sportscaster. He says he's still getting residuals from Blades of Glory.
Somewhere in the world where it's playing every night.
Michaels and McElroy, turn up the thermostat.
These guys put the bone in Zamboni.
We talked about what he's been up to. He was teaching a class at UNC Chapel Hill, but stopped in part because he didn't feel like he was getting through to students about putting down the social media.
Overestimated my ability to help and change people's minds. Once the digital habit is set in place, some 70-plus-year-old professor, regardless of his background or experience, isn't going to be able to talk you out of it.
So now he's writing a memoir. The publisher wants a draft by September 24th.
I think I'll finish on September 23, to be totally honest with you.
Any final words on the way out, Jim?
Life goes on.